So what are you saying, Dr. Sneed? Parents, anybody under the sound of Mama Bear, before she ever became a Mama Bear. But what I know, God led my son to Baylor. And after the 2019 season, and then we get a new coach in 2020, and it was COVID year, and the ups and downs of all those things, God still winked at my son and showed him, this is where you're supposed to be. Because that one-hand catch, I got to tell this story. Right when the game was over, we always closed down we're always the last to leave the field, leave the facilities, because my son is going to be one of the last people walking out of a locker room all the time since high school. But we were out there, and I told him and my husband when he came out, I was like, dude. He's like, Mom, that was nobody but God. I say, as long as you know who gave you the ability to make that catch, because that was not even supposed to happen. He's like, Mom, I know it. I said, dude, that's going to be on ESPN Top 10. Before it happened, I said it to my son. Before we could walk the mile from where we had parked, my mother is calling me saying, RJ's on ESPN. He's #1 for the night. Y'all, but here's the humbleness of my kid. He's like, okay. He's like, that's cool. It wasn't one of those, yeah, that's it. It was like, all right, that's cool. So what are you saying tonight, Dr. Sneed? Preparing champions for life, not just a sport, not just a season, but for life. You have to be all in. You have to be present. But you also have to let them navigate this thing called life. Standing on the sideline, being their cheerleader, being their counselor, being the person that says, okay, here's my 2 cents. Now what are you going to do with it? And so those are the things that when things go up and down, last thing that I have to tell you, and then I'm putting this mic down, is that how do you teach your children to deal with adversity? Think about that for a second. Because I work with kids every day, and I work with at-risk kids. And the kids that I work with, the way they deal with adversity is drugs, sex, fighting, profanity. They don't know how to deal with life's up and downs. But this is something that have stuck with me, and I've given to my family, to anybody that'll listen. The word stand. And when you look at the word stand, S-T-A-N-D, I said for the S, you have to smile through it. For the T, trust God through it. For the A, acknowledge God through it. For the N, here's that word again, nonstop prayer through it. And for the D, teach your children how to determine obedience through it. It's not about if you want to. It's about what did God say. Because you made a commitment, so because you made the commitment, now what does God say about the commitment you made? And so tonight, let your children know that this is something I penned in my book. I wrote a book before I even know what I was doing. When I did my doctoral, I challenged my professor that I didn't want to do the quantitative research. I'm a counselor also, you guys. And I am a certified counselor who just loves helping people. But I wrote this book because I could only tell you that I got to this place in 2011 of being able to write this because I had been through trials and errors of being a parent. But what I learned was the title of the book is Parenting with a Purpose, Getting to the Heart of the Matter. And what I wrote in this book is that when you parent on purpose, you let your children know you were created on purpose, with purpose, for purpose. Say that one more time. You were created on purpose, with purpose, for purpose. So those are my 2 cents of how we got to Baylor.
So back on your question about the Twitter thing, the social media. Parents, it's bad out there with this social media. I remember when my kids were in 6th, 7th, and 8th grade middle school, they used to tell me, oh, you too old to be on Instagram. You too old to be on Twitter. What are you doing a Twitter account? Little did they know I'm doing it to watch you guys. I'm doing it to watch my children. So my kids are the type, like Miss Nee said, they don't post. They look at everybody, they can tell you everything. But they don't post because of the fact, early on, my husband and I told them, if you want to go places, if you want to be somebody, keep all of your business off of social media. Because the coaches are looking, the teachers are looking. Today, I have family members. I have friends, and I'm watching their children. I can't go to their parents and tell them because they feel some kind of way. I'm trying to help you with your child. Because I tell you, there's, what do you call it, sexual profiling, there's drugs, there's sex, there's alcohol that these kids are getting into because of social media. They don't think they're pretty enough. They're looking at the other women, these bodies with these butt lifts and all of this. They want it. So I tell my kids all the time, look, there are going to be people out there that don't like you. Everybody's not going to clap for you. I know y'all going to clap for people because what does it take away from you to clap for someone else? Nothing. I'm happy for you when you do something. I'm happy. And they're the same way. And I just feel like with the social media, I know now that the stage that Jalen is on, he's going to get some stuff. And I told him, I said, you know what? We're bigger than that. God got you. Because I see some things, what they're saying about my child right now, and I tell you, the things in my heart that I can say, that I can put out there, but I'm like, you know what? God got us. I'm bigger than that. We're bigger than that. We don't have to do that. When they go low, we go high. We don't have to do that, and we're not going to do that. My oldest son, he will not post anything. My husband, you can't get a like from my husband. My birthday, I say you could at least like the picture. You know, I know you're looking, and all the people that say, oh, I'm not on Facebook, I'm not on Instagram, I'm not on Twitter. You are. You are on Twitter, Facebook. You're looking. You may not be posting, but you're looking at everybody's business. So I tell you parents, be nosy. I don't know if y'all have little children. When my kids were little, I'm the nosiest person you ever want to meet. When they come home from school, late at night, they're in beds. I'm up. I'm a person that gets up at night. I wash clothes. I do dishes. I do it all. I was checking backpacks. I was checking pockets. I was checking cell phones because if I'm going to pay the bill, I'm going to have the access to that cell phone. So I'm going through the cell phone and everything. If I see anything that's not right, the whole house is getting up. And I'm serious because you're not going to do that to my kids. You're not. You're not going to, and another thing that I don't like is because, say for instance, like when somebody plants something on your kids. I tell my kids all the time, watch who you keep company. Don't let anyone ride in your car. Don't let anybody come in your space and take over. Because those are the people, you're very successful, those are the people who will try to knock you down. Don't do it. I'm a very firm believer that I am the type of person that I will check every Facebook page, like I say. I'm very nosy. I can't help myself. They say, Mom, you're all in the business. I say, you know what? I'm in the business for a reason, because I love you. And no one else is going to love your children the way you love them. No one else is going to take care of your children the way you take care of them. That's why I always said I was very cautious who I put my kids' hands in. So this is our story about our journey to Baylor. So Jalen was recruited by Art Browse. And his 11th grade year, he had been recruited. So 12th grade year, he knew he was going to Baylor, right? Because he didn't have any other offers. SMU reached out to him, and then later on, U of H reached out to him. So when he got ready to go to school, he was an early graduate in the spring. He went to Baylor, and he was like, Mom, I don't know if I want to go to Baylor because everybody's leaving. I said, what do you mean everybody's leaving? Oh, this big thing with Art Browse, he's leaving, and all the recruiting class is going to be leaving. I say, Jalen, let's talk about this. You're going to school for education. You don't do what everybody else do. You don't do that. We don't do this in this household. You're going to go, you're going to get your education, no matter if you go to SMU, no matter if you go to UT, wherever you go, there's going to be some ups and downs. But you're going to get through it. So like Dr. Sneed was saying about the season with the 1-11, and it was hard. It's plenty of times he cried, he called me crying. FaceTime, I'm looking at the ceiling all night because the fan is gone and he's playing the game. And I'm like, okay, I tell my husband, I say, look, you're going to have to take this shift tonight. Because you know what? I feel that those calls meant so much. At that point, we'd pray together, and he would cry, and he was like, I don't know if this is for me. That was the time when he became, when he had started getting close to God. He have a personal relationship with God, him and my son. Every day during Lenten season, I don't know, we're Catholics. We used to be Catholics. So during Lenten season, my husband started this thing on our group text. Jesus is Lord of Lords. Jesus is King of Kings. Jesus is the lily of the valley. So for 30 days, we had to write in a journal, everybody on the team. So we had to write something every day for 30 days, and my husband would be the lead, and we'd write it. So I asked my husband, I said, do you think the kids are getting this? He was like, just wait and see. So about on the 20th day, my oldest son sent me a screenshot of everything. He was writing it down in his journal. So when Jalen was starting to get ready for the combine, he was in Dallas. I'm digging. So I started doing laundry, started cleaning the refrigerator, started getting all his stuff ready to come back home because he was going to be coming back home after the combine, and I'm just digging and digging. So on the bar, he had a set of papers with all his football stuff, all his football plays, all the Baylor big binders, and I'm just digging. I see a cross, I see a candle, and then under that, I see a journal. And I bust out in tears because I did not know that he was following it. Everything my husband had put, he was writing in his journal, and he had little notes by it. So it made me feel some kind of way because I know that wherever they go, they have a personal relationship with God. And it's nothing more than a personal relationship with God. I have one, my husband have one, and my children have one. When you have that personal relationship with God, all of that Twitter and all that mess they're putting out there, nobody can stop you. So we know where our help comes from. We know that Jesus is our Lord and Savior, and he is the head of everything we do.
Good job. Good job. Oh, Lord, I'm being blessed. I'm being blessed. I'm being blessed. I need to say something to you. I apologize, Jill. I'll tell you why. Because there should have been times when people have DM'd me and said, get off of Twitter. Get off of Twitter, because if anybody said anything about Maceo Marshawn Teague, I was trying to go back. Well, who said that? Who said it? So what I did was, a couple of times Maceo was out there, and someone actually called my son trash, so you can't do that. And so I tweeted the person back, and he followed up with, oh, mama taking up for him. And so we got into this banter back and forth, and then I said, now I tell my children to know who you are. What are you doing, Mom? What are you doing? And so I really had to back off of Twitter as far as the negativity, because I didn't want that to invoke or inflict any type of bad light on Maceo, because his mother was getting into a banter with someone else. So I wanted to flip that around, just because that's your children. That's your child. You don't want anyone saying anything negative. At the same time, the one thing that to answer your question, is to teach each one of our children, who are you? He has a trainer now. Every day he walks in the gym. And this young man is Tweety Carter. Every day Maceo walks in the gym, he says, "What's your name?" Maceo has to say his name. Say it with authority. Because once you know who you are, no one can take anything from you. Once you know who you are, who God says you are, no one can take anything from you. So when the negativity starts to flow, like it did when we played Florida, this is when I found out about the betting. That's not my world. So people would bet out there. And I think Maceo missed 2 or 4 free throws. I didn't know anything. They even wrote an article about it. Finally, Maceo called me and said, "I need to tell you something." The voice. And I said, "What's going on?" He said, "I don't know if I should tell you, Mom." And I said, "What's going on, Mace?" He said they had to have some Twitter messages taken down because his life was being threatened because he had missed free throws. He had received messages saying, "You owe me $1,100 because you missed the free throws." So this is the negativity that we can't capture all of it. So we have to learn, I had to learn to go at it in a different angle because when you're this small, the negativity is a little bit different. And so when they start attacking your livelihood, your life, you know, you have to go about it in a different manner. And never diminishing prayer. Never, ever diminishing prayer. But I said, "God, I need something now." Because people aren't all there today. So all I could tell Maceo was stay off. Just back up. Stay off of Twitter for a few. You know, stop reading it. If someone comes to you with negativity, you don't want to hear it. So if there's an article out there, 9 times out of 10, even if it's a positive article, someone would send it to us because we wouldn't go out there and read. We couldn't even afford the opportunity because we've always taught them the higher you go, the more haters you're going to get. And it's facts. You're going to get haters. I'm sure your children, they may not be telling you that. Your baby's a gymnast, a cheerleader. You're. Not mine. Oh, no, not mine. Yeah, come here. I'm sorry. Is the gymnast, and I'm sure she has. Whenever she excels, there's always going to be someone that doesn't care for what she's doing. So we have to build that foundation with all of our children. We have to build that foundation because when they go to the next level, junior high, they get to high school, it gets worse. It's going to get worse. So my suggestion is basically stop looking at it. We can't force them to do it. But the main thing is teach your child to know who they are. They have to know who they are first. And first and foremost, know who they are in the Lord.
Okay, it's rapid fire question time, ladies. I've kind of prepped them for this. Okay, here's some fun questions. The first one is, do you have any game day rituals or superstitions? Y'all know mine. Now I feel like, Sheila, I blew it on those. I do 4 squats before every free throw for the men's basketball team. Must have not made those. Forgot that.
I'll
Rituals.
go ahead.
Okay, Davida.
Actually, I wouldn't say it's a ritual, but game day. Okay. We start preparing on Friday because we had to usually travel to Waco. My husband will not talk all day Friday, all day Saturday. You can't really sit with him at a game. Don't sit with my husband at a game. If you're going to be doing all that chitter-chatting, you don't sit with him. So it was very hard for me to sit with him. After the game, if they won, he wouldn't talk. Sunday, he wouldn't talk. He wouldn't start talking till Monday. So that was pretty much like I had to live through that. And still today, I know with the games that we're going to be going to now, I might just have to go sit somewhere else because he's so serious. You know, he was a big-time high school player, defensive player in high school, and he is so serious about the game. He needs to watch everything, and he needs to be alert of everything that's going on because he paid close attention to detail, everything. And then he goes home and watch it. And then Sunday, he watch it again in silence. Yeah, so that's pretty much us.
Dr. Sneed?
Mine was simple. Before the game, RJ always called, and we prayed. And so before every game, if we were driving into Waco, before he left the hotel, he's calling me and we're gonna pray. And it was real simple. We just prayed. And that started in high school.
For myself, I would, there was always a note, a brief note to Maceo, whether it be from myself or from Sean. But right before the game would start, so it's funny, that's why I told you I'd share it later. Jill would shoot the free throws. I would actually practice Maceo's shots, so I'm going up, 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 up. And I promise you, I would do it because I swear I thought I was willing it to him, so. But that's what I did. I would do it every game, and even during the game, that's what I would do.
There you go. Okay, second rapid fire question. Game day attire. Favorite go-to?
Dry fit.
Okay.
Very
okay.
comfy.
Okay.
Dry
Gosh,
fit.
those Baylor football games get hot.
Yeah, dry fit.
Yeah.
Okay. I would just put on Baylor gear. Not just, but it's Baylor gear, head to toe.
I guess, I always had something different. So it was always going to be something, but
Jazz.
with Baylor, but it was going to be jazzy.
Jazz.
And okay. I do have something. For football season, the hands and the toes are always going to be green and gold.
Okay. And now when to wrap us up before we head over across for some dessert. Favorite moment on the field, off the field, with those kids there at Baylor?
Baylor line. I was very, when I first went there, I was like, oh, wow, this is what they do. This is nice. That and just a brief thing. I met on the first time we went there for Meet the Bears, I met this lady. And this lady, I had my mom, my aunt, my best friend. We went to Meet the Bears, and there was this lady and her daughter, big Baylor fans. I met her, and she was like a godsend to us. She showed us everything. She was like real, and she showed us everything, and this is this, and this is that. She stayed with me the whole Baylor career. Every game, she'd call me, and still today, she's like, I know what I'm wearing on Sundays, Houston Texans gear. So, yeah, her name is Miss Kimberly Tucker. So if you see her out there, if you know her, that's my friend.
I will go ahead and I apologize. The last one will be obvious, but to be totally honest, Baylor fans. And I mean that from the bottom of my heart, just for the simple fact when we went to, we were blessed because the championship game was, or the NCAA championship was 90 minutes from our home, so we were blessed. So I had the opportunity to be at each and every game and to see the turnout from the Baylor fans. And the more we won, the more green and gold was in the stands. And you just don't know how proud, as a mom, to see someone cheering on a bunch of guys who you all don't even have the opportunity to say hello to touch, but you were there to back our kids. You just don't know how that made me feel. And of course, the obvious is we're national champions.
I'm gonna say from start to finish, it's the relationships that I have built from 2017 to now that will last a lifetime. I went there as a parent of a kid that my kid goes here, and so, okay, we got to come to these games, and but I left as, I'm a Baylor Bear. And so that's going to be the lifetime thing. I think people really on Twitter think that I graduated from Baylor, seriously. Because I will get these DMs from strangers that are like, what year did you go to Baylor? What year did you? I was like, I didn't, I don't, I do, my son. And so it's just the opportunity to meet the people that I've met, and then to meet strangers. After we started the prayer, we literally, me and Sheila talked about this our last home game of the season, that it started with just the parents and it ended with strangers saying that they're driving all over to come and join us for prayer. And so, to me, I believe God's proud in the assignment. The assignment.
Ah, y'all, come on, these three ladies. So we're going to go grab some desserts, coffee, water. There's places to take pictures. These three ladies will be over there, and Miss Henderson will be over there too. And we are just so grateful that the three of you came tonight. I mean, what a gift. And also, Manny, I'm going to put you on the spot. Will you lead us in a Sick 'em Bears before we head over there? It's one of the duties of a regent, right? Okay.
Sick 'em Bears!
Okay. Y'all walk on over. Dr. Sneed's books, she has some for sale back there if you're interested in getting them.